Shalom. First off, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakakwadash. Those are the true names of the Heavenly Father and only begotten Son. Okay, Yahweh meaning He is or He is to be. Okay, that's who the world ignorantly calls God. Okay, which He is the God of the Hebrew Israelites. Okay, and by Hashem is in the name of Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai is the only begotten Son. That's who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Okay, his true name is Yahweh Shai. The meaning of it is He delivers. Okay, He deliverer. And I want to speak on today. This real quick lesson. On Lord's will. Lord's willing is edifying. To whomever receives it, and just pertaining to the men that are doing the work of the Lord, the men that consider themselves to be disciples of the Lord, okay, and ultimately, while being a disciple, okay, while doing the work of the Lord, coexisting, with the current world that we're living in, okay, which this current rulership, okay, this planet and the vibration that this planet is under, okay, is utter wickedness. Okay, we understand that Job 9:24 tells us that the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Okay, He covered the faces of the judges thereof. Okay, and understanding that, okay, with the numerable amount of scriptures, prophecies, that speaks about this place. Okay, Babylon, chiefly. Okay, Babylon the Great, the virgin daughter of Babylon, which is known as today is called America. Okay, and with this place existing, the vibration is going all throughout the world. Okay, so coexisting here, and maneuvering here as a disciple. Okay, one of our chief weapons, okay, of course, is first and foremost the Lord, the Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, and having faith in Him. But ultimately, the tool that He's given us is wisdom. Okay, wisdom. And when you go into books like, Proverbs, the Wisdom of Solomon, okay, the Book of Sirach, okay, or Ecclesiasticus, it's a book of conduct. Okay, and it's ultimately instruction. Instruction on how to maneuver within any situation. Okay, no matter what situation that you're put in, the Lord, we have instruction. The Spirit works with us. Okay, and we understand that to certain situations may present themselves. Okay, and we are to respond a certain type of way. Now I'm gonna start off with this scripture. Real simple, man. This is Proverbs 4:7. It says, "Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom." All right, like what I just explained to you. What is wisdom? I mean, and wisdom is what? It's the fear of the Lord, and that's the beginning of it. All right, and that's let me grab it for you, just real quick, man. Just edification. All right, this is Proverbs 1:7. It's in the first chapter. And it says, now I'm going to do 15 and 33. It's Proverbs 15 and 33. It says, "The fear of the Lord is instruction of wisdom, and before honor is humility." Okay, so it says the fear of the Lord is the instruction of wisdom. Okay, so you understand by the fear of the Lord, okay, we instruct through the fear, we understand that we have to be instructed, and when you go into these books, when you go into the books that I mentioned, you gain, you get the instruction, okay, and by applying it, you gain understanding, essentially. All right, and like I said, is and what the Lord is showing us is, first and foremost, when you go to the book of Micah 2:10, once again, just looking at the world that we are in, it's not us. Micah 2:10, it says, I'll just read it. I'll just get it. It's the book of Micah chapter 2. All right. In verse 10 it says, "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted and shall destroy you even with the sword of destruction." So we understand that the current, rulership or dominion, that or kingdom that we are existing in right now, it was never meant for our rest. It was never meant for us to be comfortable, right? It was ultimately meant for punishment, ultimately, and that's clear to see. But knowing that, all right, knowing that, this isn't our rest, okay, and understanding that if this isn't our rest, okay, we're going to be we're going to be put in certain situations that are going to ultimately, I'm gonna use the word try you. I'm gonna just use that word, man. Try you, and ultimately we understand it's the Spirit of the Lord, placing that trial on you, ultimately to see where you at, because as a man of the Lord, we're working for Him. We're claiming, we're proclaiming His words. We're going to these scriptures, breaking them down. We're feeding the sheep. But at the same time, as a disciple, as a teacher, I mean, you got to be purged. You got to be tried as well. But the beautiful thing about it is that the Lord has equipped us with the tools to be able to combat, those tests. It's almost sort of a open book, open book exam, essentially. And the book is what? The scriptures. Okay, the scriptures is what gives you the wisdom, the instruction to be able to, get over those hurdles, to deal with those, to deal with what comes, ultimately, those trials, which goes into experience. Okay, then, experience literally means, out of a trial. All right, so you're able to move on to the next stage. All right, and you're able to face the next set of stages. All right, and with that you gain, you gain more. You're able to move a certain type of way, and you're able to shed light on certain situations. But the point I want to hammer on is, as I just read in Proverbs, the 4th chapter, wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom, but with all I get understanding, man. Understand, what you're doing. All right. Understand the situation and the predicament that you are in. All right. Understand that you're going to be put in certain situations, and you're going to have to respond and react a certain type of way. All right. To not hinder you ultimately, man. Because ultimately we have priorities within the ministry, within this truth. Okay, we got things that we have to do, and on top of that, you want to set an example, okay, on how to do things. Essentially, you don't want to put out a certain vibration. You don't want to move certain types of ways, because you got your brother coming up, next to you. You got your brother. You got a brother in front of you. You got a brother behind you. And everybody's watching each other. You know what I'm saying? So you want to conduct in a way where it's honorable. Because we are men. We're coming back into the remembrance. We have come back into the remembrance of who we are. All right, and being an Israelite, okay, from each brother, from their respective tribe. All right, we're men of understanding. We're supposed to be men of valor. All right, men, regal nobility. Okay, so we need to carry ourselves as such. So when we get put in situations, you look at, for instance, when Daniel, when we were carried into the Babylonian captivity, and the way that Daniel carried himself, him, Rakshak, Meshach, and Abednego, and there was certain situations where when it came to the test of when the Lord put the test on them to see if they were going to pretty much bow down and worship other idols, or the statue that was erected. But outside of that situation, these men carried themselves in a humble fashion, a humble fashion. Now, granted, you gotta control yourself, essentially. I'm gonna end it on that. I'm gonna end it on that. Let me get that scripture, because we got this at camp. We've been going into this, but Why not go into it again? You know, this is Proverbs 25 and 28, and this essentially this is like, I would say, I mean, I'm not gonna even throw a number out there. I'm gonna just say it's a big percentage, a big portion of you know, of finishing. You know, I'm gonna say that this is a great tool. Not even a great tool. This is what's required. This is going to be required of you, you know, to be able to finish the race. You know, that race Paul, you know, was speaking about, that faith, you know, Paul was speaking about. And this man, it's heavy. This is Proverbs 25 and 28. It says, he that have no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls. Okay, I'll read it again. It says, he that have no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls. Okay, so when it's, you know, when a city has no walls, it has no protection. All right, and when you understand that you know, we living in a world, we're spiritual men, you know, essentially, and the war that we are fighting, it's a spiritual battle. You know, it's not a physical, it's not a carnal, you know, type of battle. Of course, you have certain elements, you got to deal with certain things within the physical, but ultimately, this is a spiritual warfare. Okay, and if you don't have rule over your spirit, okay, if you don't understand the nature, okay, and the condition of the battle, you know, that we are facing, all right, and if a situation presents itself, and you're unable to control yourself, all right, all right. Wisdom is a part of controlling yourself. Wisdom is conduct, okay, conducting yourself in a certain manner, all right, understanding the predicament that we are in, being at peace, and understanding that first and foremost, this is not our world, all right. So you're going to be put in certain situations where it's going to, for lack of a better term, ruffle your feathers in a carnal sense, okay. But you have to realize, you have to bring yourself back. You have to center yourself within the spirit of the Lord, first and foremost, because only the Lord is going to be able to, you know, give you this. But still, we still have a responsibility, okay, to gauge a situation and look at something and be able to say to yourself, man, what are my options? If I respond this way, what am I going to get? If I respond this way, what am I going to get? Okay, that's being. And listen, that's ultimately the fear of the Lord. That's the Lord, man, showing you when you're thinking that way, that's ruling your spirit. All right, that's being able to pinpoint, all right, accurately, all right, the spirit, all right, knowing, okay, I'm not going to do this and I'm not going to do that, which brings us back to discipline, which discipline goes to what? Being a disciple, all right, and that's what we are, all right. So we got to move a certain way and we got to do things a certain way, man, because all in all, the Lord is telling us, he's showing us, listen, if you don't move this way, you're going to hurt yourself. It's just like brothers got kids, man. You know, you tell your child, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this. But then sometimes you let them do it. You let them because you already told them. You told them, you said, listen, don't do it. Now, if you go do it, you're going to get hurt, right? So when they get to reaching for something that they not supposed to be reaching for or touching something, and you look at them and they, you know, you get burned or whatever the case may be, then they learn. So essentially, it's you're going to learn regardless, you know? You're going to learn regardless, you know? But the point, you know, I don't want to make this, you know, video too long, man. But the point is wisdom, man, you know, and adhering to it and applying it in your day-to-day world, you know. And the bulk of that, it boils down to us, you know, as individuals and the individual that we are inside, because only we know ourselves. You know, every individual brother, all right, understands himself. All right. That's why when Paul spoke, was saying examine thyself, whether that be in the faith or not. You have to examine yourself and understand who you are and understand the things that you need to work on. You know, And after examining them, all right, start working on it. Start taking steps all through the spirit and power of the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, all right, to change yourself and to move a certain type of way. All right. So that's the point, man. With all I getting, hey, listen, wisdom is the principal thing, but with all I getting, get understanding. All right. Understand why you're moving the way that you are. All right. Understanding why we must conduct ourselves a certain type of way. All right. And understanding where we are at. Okay. And being at peace with that. All right. So that's the point. Lord's willing, it was edifying. Whomever needs to hear it all through the spirit and power of the Lord. Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. So I'm going to say, call Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, Bashim Karkadash. Of course, double honors to the apostles, the elders, great millstone, and peace and salutations to the elect. Shalom.